What's the mantra heading into this weekend to try to kind of break a little bit of the skid that's happened the last 4 games?
Well, we've got to go out and be the aggressor and play with a chip on our shoulder in everything that we do, whether it's on the mound, whether it's defensively, and most certainly from an offensive standpoint, we've got to be the one that dictates how the game's going to play out rather than waiting and responding as to how the other team's pitcher is going to be from the standpoint of commanding one or two pitches.
How impressed have you been with Hunter Coleman and what he's been able to do off the bench? I mean, it's pretty unprecedented to be able to put up those kind of numbers in pinch hit appearances.
Well, you're 100% correct. And going into this weekend, certainly Georgia will face two left-handed starters and two really talented left-handers out of the bullpen. So I would expect Hunter Coleman to see many more opportunities moving forward based on what he's done.
I mean, is there a better example of making the most of opportunities when they're presented?
I don't think you can make a better example. And for us, it's always been trying to find where can we put him, fit him in from a defensive standpoint, first base, DH, corner outfield position. And like you said, I mean, the limited opportunities he's had, you couldn't make more of them than he has.
In the ebbs and flows of a season, as far as the batting lineup goes, I know there was a lot of shuffling early. You kind of settled in when guys were really producing. As things have gone a little bit cold, how do you weigh the desire to want to tinker and move things, or to let guys try to work out of different little slumps?
Well, I think as a coaching staff, you're always looking for ways to input energy into a lineup or a team, but I do feel like we've kind of arrived at 12 hitters that we're going to lean on. And, maybe it's a matchup situation based on splits, left, right, and what gives us the best opportunity that day. But, you start digging into 18 hitters again, then you're going to set yourself up for sure ups and downs.
And then finally, is the rotation going to look the same?
Yes. Same as last weekend.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, you touched briefly on some of the pitching you'll see from Georgia. What other challenges will they present your team this weekend?
Well, they are very right-handed from an offensive standpoint. They're hitting 288, 290 as a team. Not going to run an awful lot. They do a very good job from a defensive standpoint. And they're not going to run. I mean, we've got to do a great job and they want to slug a little bit. And we've got to do a good job of, when they do slug, make sure that we haven't set up innings for them by the free base runner. I mean, last weekend we walked 11, hit 1, Florida walked 2, and they outpitched us. I mean, that's what we've got to be great at. And that's what we do hang our hat on, is being stingy from a pitching staff standpoint. We're going to have to be that way against Georgia.
Early in the season, when the team had a few struggles, you said maybe they were trying a little bit too hard. Is there anything you can draw from that early part of the season to what's happening now to kind of get this team back going again?
Well, certainly we all can. And I'm thankful that we're at home this weekend. And, based on the last 4 games, we need to respond, and we need to be on our toes, and we need to be the aggressor, and we need to make the other team respond to what we're doing. And that hasn't been the case the last 4 games as we've all seen.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, Coach, I got 2 for you. When your team's going through a little bit of I guess you could call it a slump when they're not producing as many runs, it's not your first rodeo. You've seen it before. Is there any way to jumpstart it or kind of crack them out of it? Or is it just, take your time and take the good pitches that come?
Well, sometimes it's one big hit. Sometimes it's one great at bat that maybe a 12 or 13 pitch at bat that starts an inning up with a walk or even a flare single. And when you grab that energy and that momentum, that's something that you can ride for a while. And we haven't been able to do that the last 4 games from an offensive standpoint. And, we, in the 8th inning or 7th inning on Sunday, we got runners at second, third, ready to make it a 1-run game and no outs, and we strike out 3 times. So those are the moments that are going to find us individually and collectively that we've got to run through the door, and we're reacting rather than acting. And that's what we've got to get back to, is get that chip on our shoulder and be the aggressor, because that's in essence what we hang our hat on.
And then lastly, Coach, when you look at the SEC, the top 5 teams in the country right now are SEC teams. Georgia, not one of the ranked ones. Do you put any more emphasis on a series like this where it's against a team that may Maypole's a more winnable challenge as opposed to some of those top teams in the country?
I don't think you can in this league. I mean, if we're at home, we've got to take care of business. It doesn't matter what the name on the front of the jersey. Every team that you play is going to be super talented, have great starting pitching, have depth, and have opportunity. For us, we've got to go out and take care of ourselves. We need to go play better and play at the level that it takes to win in this conference. And, you know, we certainly got our eyes open last weekend on the road, and we need to take that to our advantage this weekend and, you know, protect the home field, so to speak.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.